Can you please provide a list of the part-time jobs you've done? We'll meet afterwards.
I remember well the first time my mother-in-law said those words to me. I'm Nicolette, and I'm 27 years old. I got married at 26 to Tony, who is the same age as me, whom I met in the university tennis club. Before the proposal, she told me that. While tilting my head, I wrote down private tutor, family restaurant staff, and submitted it. When we went for the marriage proposal, I was told, "It seems you were right about being a private tutor and a family restaurant staff."
It was exactly as I found out using a private detective agency.
A detective agency? And she even checked the details of my part-time jobs? I found the request so strange that I had to ask again. Then what I heard next was unbelievable.
So, you went to the same university as Tony. That place isn't just famous for its intelligence, it's also known for being expensive, isn't it? You come from a typical single-parent household, don't you?
Typical? What exactly is a typical single-parent household? Again, I asked back.
But that's how it is, right? One mother, 4 children. A house with many children is always cramped, isn't it? There's nothing else to do, so that's why children keep increasing. It's just an animal instinct. Poor families want more hands to work, so they make more. And because there are more children, the family becomes poor. It's a vicious cycle. I wonder if that's why someone from a household like yours was working odd jobs just to afford that university.
Huh? I don't really mind those kinds of jobs, but I felt really uncomfortable because my privacy was being invaded due to being poor and from a single-parent household. Well, anyway, this person is the manager of a luxury boutique hotel. We don't live together and I really love my husband. So, I decided to endure and marry him. At the wedding, she came to my family's table.
Never mention any association between your family and ours, please. Our backgrounds are different. Our side represents a long-standing prestigious boutique hotel that has been passed down through generations, while yours is a single-parent family associated with poverty.
It seems she came up with such remarks. My mother and the rest of my family were taken aback. When I lowered my head and apologized in a situation like this, her cheerful voice responded, "Oh, it's okay. I'm not bothered at all." It brought relief, but even though I don't live with my mother-in-law, I wonder if I can manage social situations, considering the stigma of being from a single-parent, poor family. This was a bit of a concern, but I couldn't tell my husband. I don't think anyone would feel good about hearing bad things about their own parents. Moreover, I felt like I might get tired of being caught between a wife and my mother-in-law. But then something happened that made me think, I can't get along with this mother-in-law.
Today is going to be fun. Pine Breeze Manor has a garden inside the building and it's illuminated, right? To be able to enjoy that view from the window while sipping wine, it's the best.
My friend Amanda looks happy.
I'm looking forward to the private outdoor bath at night. I've been touring churches all day and my feet are killing me, so I really want to relax.
She must have seen the website and knew more about Pine Breeze Manor than I did. Yeah, maybe I should just pop in the room for a breather and then go say hello. She's my mother-in-law after all. As I said this, I passed through the gate of Pine Breeze Manor. That's when the incident occurred. Before I had a chance to think about saying hello later, and as soon as I opened the sliding door, my mother-in-law's voice came flying at me right away.
The threshold there! Don't step over the threshold!
My mother-in-law was right in front, with a fierce expression like that of a demon.
I just checked the guest list for today, and when I saw this name I thought, could it be? And it really was you!
Mom? I stood there frozen. But then, from the side, my friend spoke up.
Hello, we're here today. I'm Amanda, a friend.
Despite the situation, she greeted cheerfully.
Young lady, this woman next to you? She's from a poor single-parent family. That woman deceived my son into it. She's nothing but a sly thief. Young lady, you should reconsider your choice of friends. We run a high-class boutique hotel here. Poor folks from single-parent families should go back where they belong."
With that, my mother-in-law turned her back and quickly walked away. Her back, straightened in her long dress, quickly vanished from sight. "Ah." My friend voices her disappointment. "Well, that's how it goes," I replied. "That's right. Yes, that's how it goes. Know your place." The meaning became clearer a few hours later. My friend and I left Pine Breeze Manor.
"Where are you?"
My phone rang. When I answered, my mother-in-law's voice blared through. "Where am I? I'm at the Riga Prince Hotel."
"Come back right now."
The change in her tone from earlier made me smirk. "Didn't you tell me not to step foot in your house?"
No, that's not what I meant."
"How is that not what you meant when you said not to come in?"
"Well, at least can we talk for a bit?"
"Go ahead."
"Talking over the phone isn't ideal. Can you come to our hotel?"
"I can't step foot in there, remember?" My friend was listening to the conversation and laughing hysterically. She had opened a bottle of wine and was in high spirits, slightly tipsy. I couldn't drink, so I was sober, but at times like this, being able to drink seemed fun, and I was a bit envious.
Well, where can we talk then?"
Let's see. How about the lobby of the Riga Prince? The Riga Prince is a luxury hotel. My friend quickly booked us a room there afterwards. Since it was a weekday, we got in without any trouble. I called out to my tipsy friend. "All right, I'm going to have a little chat with my mother-in-law." My friend waved cheerfully. "And go easy on her, okay?" "Yeah." I'm not going to go easy on her. I decided to head down to the lobby of the Riga Prince. The Prince Hotel is less than a 10-minute drive from the Pine Breeze Hotel. The tourist attractions are so famous that the neighborhood is crammed with them. That's why my mother-in-law went early.
"Nicolette?"
She looked pale. Now that I think about it, it was the first time she'd called me by my name. No wonder Nicolette felt so strange. She'd only ever called me a poor person or something like that until now. "Yes, what can I do for you, ma'am?" I deliberately avoided calling her mother.
You must forgive me."
"Forgive you for what?" The pitiful woman trembled while standing. Her dignified attire seemed rather comical. Even the staff from Riga Prince Hotel were casting glances at us, muttering about the owner of Pine Breeze Manor. It was natural. Being the owner of a rival hotel in the neighborhood, there was no way they wouldn't recognize her face.
"You were a journalist for Traveler's Journey?"
Upon hearing this,
"Please give our hotel another chance."
she tilted her head diagonally at a 45-degree angle. Her posture was perfect, straight at a 45-degree angle. I felt like I wanted to measure it with a protractor. While suppressing the urge to burst out laughing, I said, "Please, have a seat." Her head tilting was impeccable, but was that enough to forgive her?
"From Traveler's Journey, I received a cancellation notice for the interview."
Even sitting down, my mother-in-law was still trembling and pale.
"Miss Nicolette, you're a journalist from Traveler's Journey."
"Miss Nicolette? That's a bit much. Until now, she's been calling me things like poor person. I even laughed when she just called me Nicolette, and now it's Miss Nicolette. Miss is sneaky. Too sneaky. My abs feel like they're going through a boot camp. Is there such a hardcore abs workout? My abs were almost cramping, but I endure. Owner. Well, of course. It's not like I would suddenly say we are from Traveler's Journey during an interview, right? Because if we did that and then wrote about being treated differently from usual, it would indeed be considered false reporting. It's standard protocol to stay incognito and stay overnight like a regular guest. Well, if things go normally, the next day I, as a reporter, would announce myself by saying, "I'm sorry for saying this so late, I'm from Traveler's Journey." And then I would call other people with equipment at a later date.
"Weren't you supposed to retire after getting married?"
Yes, from my previous job, but it's only been about a month since I got married. After settling into our new home, I decided to rejoin the workforce. That's where I work now, but I didn't mention my re-employment because I figured you wouldn't want to hear about it. I mean, you said You wanted nothing to do with my family, right? Traveler's Journey is a travel magazine aimed at people in their 60s and older who have retired to some extent and want to enjoy a slightly luxurious trip. The hotels and meals featured are upscale. Not many other books target older people, and this magazine is famous for being one of the best-selling options for travelers. Among travelers, it was a famous magazine that competed for top sales. Both hotels and publishing houses were aware that being mentioned or not mentioned in the magazine could greatly affect their earnings, and this was widely understood among them. Even if you ask for another chance, it's impossible, right? Isn't it common sense in the hotel industry to welcome guests without discrimination? If Traveler's Journey features hotels that drive away poor people, it will affect our credibility. There are even husbands who diligently save money, saying they want to give their wives an extraordinary experience just for their 60th birthday celebration, and yet they read Traveler's Journey. I guess there are no words to say back. My mother-in-law looked down and continued to tremble. Well, considering my colleague witnessed that scene too, it's a unanimous opinion, isn't it?
Amanda, she's your friend, right?
Yes, she's a friend. She's a good friend from work, a close one. She was a work colleague. That's written all over her pale face. I feel like my abs are about to give out. I take a deep breath to send oxygen to my abs, then start speaking slowly. With a unanimous agreement, we've determined that Pine Breeze Manor is not a suitable hotel for inclusion in Traveler's Journey. Currently, the investigation report is accessible to all employees online. Since there are plenty of other hotels, once our decision is shared through the report, it's unlikely that another journalist from Traveler's Journey will visit in the future. Instead, we will feature this Riga Prince Hotel. Both the service of the staff and the cleanliness of the hotel were impeccable. I haven't been shown how Pine Breeze Manor was cleaned, so I can't make any assessment about it.
If you could just see the inside of the hotel...
No, thank you. I mentioned earlier, didn't I? Hotels that discriminate against or segregate the poor are not worth featuring. Oh, and one more thing. Because my mother-in-law is lowering her head, my upright posture makes me seem like I'm looking down on her. Continuing to speak in a condescending tone. Thank you for the detective agency's assistance last time. I truly appreciate that the agency confirmed the content exactly as stated. But what a foolish detective agency. They only investigated my part-time job. I wonder if the dumb one is really the mother-in-law who requested the job. Normally, if making such a request, they should have also looked into my family background. But the reason for that foolishness is probably the assumption that children from large single-parent families are poor. I think I'll never forget that condescending remark about being poor because of having many children. Let's make it clear this time. It was a family-only wedding, so you probably wouldn't know, and I kept it quiet because my mother didn't want to stand out. You should be ashamed of your own presumptions. I spat out my words. The beloved Gratitude Care Hospital in front of the station, with a property 10 times the size of Pine Breeze Manor. Oh, the owner is my mother.
What?
Perhaps due to surprise, my mother-in-law suddenly lifted her head. Her face remained pale. Oh, you didn't know? My mother doesn't have a medical license, but since it's a medical corporation, she's the owner. Originally, my great-grandfather, a doctor, started it because he wanted to help save lives. It was inherited by my grandfather, who was also a doctor, but since my father passed away suddenly, my mother has been managing it now. That's it. My mother-in-law seemed to have permanently strained her neck muscles, her face still pale, and her eyes almost rolling back as she looked at me. She looked like a zombie from a horror movie. While thinking such things, I drive in the wedge, to bring down the woman who once tried to take control while undermining her. What a delightful task this is. I was totally taken aback by my mother-in-law's theory about poverty and children. It was way off base. My dad always said, people are born to have lots of kids and raise them to continue life for the next generation. Indeed, the need for labor isn't necessarily wrong. However, that labor isn't just for our family's workforce. It's for the future workers of the earth. Taking care of each individual is crucial. Well, thanks to that, I was able to study without any hindrance, and with financial support, I got into that university. Since my brother joined the medical school there, I guess he'll be taking over that hospital. Now then. This isn't the end of it, you know. Just watch. When you hear Gratitude Care Hospital, you know what I'm referring to, right? My mother-in-law, her eyes half white, went completely wide-eyed. Now she's totally become someone who'd get eaten in a horror movie. Impressive. Just dropping her into a hole won't be enough. I'll have to fill that hole even deeper. You had a case of mass food poisoning last year, didn't you? Since they were distant customers, it seems you managed to settle it by offering compensation. You did get help from our hospital at that time, didn't you? I've had enough. I burst into laughter. At my wedding? My mom was stunned, but she held back her words, thinking, it's for my daughter's sake. If I show off being in hospital management, I'll be stooping to their level. But when I called her after this incident, she said, I can't take it anymore. It's not just one case of food poisoning. I wonder how many times it's happened. It doesn't seem to be frequent, but I've heard it occurs every few years to once every 10 years. In tourist areas, there are many customers from afar. Since it happened only about once every few years, it probably never surfaced. But once testimony from the receiving hospital came out, it was all over. Now, for the final touch. To prevent her from crawling out of the filled hole, I firmly packed the last bit with a shovel. Should I go tell my friend who works for a weekly magazine? Just like a wind-up doll, my mother-in-law stood up with wide eyes, and then,
Please forgive me, at least for that. Forgive me,
she said, kneeling on the ground, or rather in the hotel lounge, which was actually carpeted. She pressed her forehead against the floor. It was quite a sight, especially with the hotel owner there. And so, the hotel was abuzz. I captured that scene in a photo while laughing uproariously. Ah, hilarious. I'll send it off just like this to the magazine I'm involved with. I couldn't hold back the laughter anymore. Then I leaned in and said to my mother-in-law's face, There's no way I can forgive that. Those who look down on others by labeling them as poor should prepare to suffer in hell. Oh, and there's a message from my mother. Never mention that there's any connection between you and our family. Our backgrounds are different. Us here, we're a long-standing hospital, while your side is a place known for food poisoning. So that's what I'll do then. Now, moving on. The aftermath of what happened at Riga Prince Hotel this time quickly became gossip among the hotel staff, who had been listening intently. Given that the owner of Pine Breeze Manor came and exposed herself in such a pitiful state, it's no wonder it attracted attention. There weren't any rumors spread by my mother's hospital after all, but it was inevitable that the food poisoning incidents occurring every few years would come to light. It was leaked to another department in my company. Pine Breeze Manor will be featured in a weekly magazine, not in Traveler's Journey. One of the photos posted was of my mother-in-law on her knees, which I had taken. Pine Breeze Manor faced closure, with its halls now echoing with silence. My mother-in-law was no longer satisfied with that and moved to a distant place where her old family home was located. Upon learning of this entire ordeal, my husband apologized, saying, I'm sorry for making you endure all this. One of the reasons I fell in love with my husband was that he was kind enough to understand the reasons why I couldn't tell him. Nevertheless, my husband apologized to my family, saying that what my mother-in-law did was very unforgivable, and he also cut me off from my mother-in-law. If it's between my mother and you, I choose you. I was happy when he said that. It seems that the Riga Prince Hotel was featured in Traveler's Journey, and the hotel seems to have been fully booked every day. The hotel seems to be thriving because even senior citizens who prefer a relaxed pace are using the hotel on weekdays. As a thank you, I received a voucher for a deluxe suite stay for the hotel, so I'm thinking of going with my husband next time. When I bragged a bit to my friend Amanda, she said, That's not fair, take me too. So maybe next time we'll go together for a private visit. At that time, Amanda also supported me. Although I wasn't blessed with a good mother-in-law, I am very happy to have a good husband and good friends.